Hey everybody and welcome. I am Dr. Jeff Langmaid here with Dr. Jason Deitch, and we are talking Smart Chiropractor. This one's not going to be in 10 minutes because we are here to talk all about marketing, answer any questions that you have, and make sure that you understand exactly how the Smart Chiropractor can help you and your practice. I'm going to say literally starting today. That's what this is going to be all about. So again, if you have questions, we're going to do our best to answer them. But we want to talk about what does the Smart Chiropractor do? What can it do for your practice? Hunting versus farming. We're going to talk email. We're going to talk social media. We're going to do it all, and hopefully you engage with us along the way. That is the goal. It is open enrollment right now, which is closing. So if you want to get started, visit us at thesmartchiropractor.com. It is going to be your best price to get the entire tool set to get started. Jason, that was an intro, and it's going to be a lot to live up to. But how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, getting my I think third wind of the day. No, I'm excited to talk to everybody. This has been a remarkable program. The feedback has been great. The program keeps on growing and expanding as we keep implementing to more offices. We keep getting more feedback, and more feedback typically means more requests. And that's kind of part of, I guess, what I'll kick this off with, which is this is not a fixed program. Here's what you get. Good luck to you. This is an amazing program that is dynamic and grows as the needs of our environment and our tribe grows. Uh, for example, when pandemic hits, then we created our telehealth segment and program to help our clients basically adapt to the environment and thrive. And the feedback from that was absolutely awesome. But the results are great. We might have some surprise sort of guests coming in to share their feelings and opinion, actual chiros in practice, sharing what they're doing and how it's working for them, and how easy it is to implement and how easy it is to basically get your staff to you can sort of delegate it to them and go here, go there. They can ask us questions. It's really delegatable in a really easy way, which it is in either a busy or not busy practice. That's always a good thing for the chiropractor. It's hard to be a prophet in your own practice. It's much easier for you and for them to go, listen, these guys are the experts. They're going to give you the tools. They're going to give you the training. And if you've got any questions, ask them. And we will be here to support them in supporting you. Jeff and I are both chiropractors. If you don't know that and you don't know our history, we've been doing this for a very long time. And our passion has really always been helping chiropractors get the message out in a way that doesn't just evoke the feedback that they go, well, that's interesting, but have them actually go, that's interesting. How soon can I get in to see you? I didn't realize that, and I probably need your help. I need your services. And so that's really sort of the new marketing, we'll call it. We often refer to it internally as the new old-fashioned way. The old-fashioned way was that business was based on relationships. That's the way it is. Imagine that once again, but in a new way. And that really refers to, besides the social distancing relationships, it's in fact part of the social networking relationships that many, if not most of us, have all had. And I'll just sort of kick it back to you, Jeff. But one of the things I often say, and I'll say it again here right now, which is if you're watching this video, our systems work. That's the point. And so, we don't spend lots of money on advertisements. We don't have some big marketing agency to come up with some marketing campaign. Our philosophy is super simple. We teach you things, we invite you to take a next step, and we do that consistently. And that's exactly the model we're going to share with you, teach you, and encourage you to adopt. We call it TIC marketing, TIC. Teach and invite consistently. The good news is we're going to give you the tools to make teaching easy. We're going to give you the tools to make inviting people to take a next step easy. And then we're going to give you the training on how to really implement this as quickly as you can, as easily as you can, for best results. We'll get into the program in a lot more detail, but stay with us, because the one thing you'll want to know, and you'll hear us say over and over again, is there's really no risk. It's no long-term commitment. There's no long-term contracts. There's no gotchas in any way whatsoever. Our gotcha is we dare you to let us serve you to the best of our ability. How's that? And test us on it. That's what we do. That's what we pride ourselves on. And we know we've got hundreds of very satisfied, very happy clients, chiropractors, who go, thanks for handling all that for me. I'd have never done that myself. I'd have never figured out that myself. If I did figure it out myself, I wouldn't have put in all that work, energy, and effort to come up with, to do the research, to create the beautiful designs, to make it across the board, social media, Facebook, Instagram, email, in-office videos, printed materials that go, in your desk, on your walls, on your counters, all coordinated with beautiful design, research-backed messaging that really is designed to get you results. If you've got questions as we go, now's the time to ask them. We'll take your questions as they come on in. And Jeff, I'll kick it back to you. And I'm excited for this hour.
I hear you. It's really all about getting things automated or automatic in your practice. The two huge things. And as you read through, sort of what we've put together at the smartchiropractor.com, you're going to see a couple things that stand out to you. One is content, right? This is about content marketing. It's about positioning yourself. And how do you do that? Right? It is hard to keep up. So consistency is a huge liability, not asset, for way too many docs out there. It is impossible to stay consistent and coordinated. I mean, trying to stay consistent is one thing. Trying to stay coordinated is a whole other thing. We can take care of all of that for you. And really, this program has evolved. We have a social component. So yes, your Facebook will be taken care of for you. Instagram will be taken care of for you. We'll even do some YouTube posting if you'd like. So we have all of that sort of set it and forget it built into our monthly campaigns, as we'll explore in a few minutes. Then the second piece of it, which maybe I should put first in these times, is email, because we've built out an entire email suite. You can think of MailChimp or Constant Contact. Imagine if you logged into something like that, but it was built for you, and all of the automations and all of the email copy, yes, we write the emails, all of that stuff is there for you. New patient onboarding sequences, success blast to get started, reactivation sequences, drip sequences, all of that and more are present and ready for you to, all you have to do, and we walk you through this as well with our implementation, is we get you to upload that list of patients and we set it and forget it. You're going to have consistent, as we'll see with some of the testimonials, however you want to define it, feedback and results ultimately that we've seen with our members. You'll notice a very, very consistent theme, and that is reactivations week after week. So this is eliminating that yo-yo effect, right? Docs kind of, they start doing a lot of marketing. You might spend a lot on advertisements. You get an influx of people. You have to sort through those people, who's sticking around, who's coming, who's going. And inevitably, you end up then calming down on the marketing, spending more, and you just end up in this weird seesaw yo-yo effect. We want to eliminate that. The way that you do that is through content marketing and through consistent communication. As Jason said, this is about teach and invite consistently. We want to give you all of the tools, and we're actually going to do it for you so that you are teaching every single day across multiple platforms. Social, email, and we didn't even talk about yet, in your office. We know docs who are paying literally more than the cost of the Smart Chiropractor per month just to stream video in their reception area and in their front of their office. We included that in this, and that is also tied into the monthly campaign. So you're going to get all of that and more. And best part about that, it is set it and forget it as well. New reception area slides, new videos each and every month. You don't have to do anything, one-time setup, and our team, our success team, Anthony, our success team will walk you through every single thing, so you could literally get up and running this week with the Smart Chiropractor. Social posts, emails, in-office video, patient handouts, video scripts. There's a lot there, and we have built out, I guess, the big thing over the last few months is we built out web exercises. So if you're somebody that loves active care, maybe you do it in your practice, or maybe you say, I don't really want to do that in my practice, I think people should be moving. Web exercises, we have a complimentary membership to web exercises for every Smart Chiropractor member. So that is literally sitting there, again, waiting for you to take advantage of this offer that we have going on right now. We always do enrollments in cycles because it gives us the opportunity to really get you up and running with a group of docs, get you trained up, and get results as quickly as possible. As Jason said, this is no risk. We are here to help and to serve your practice. The only way we can do that is if you raise your hand. So I'm going to encourage you to head on over to thesmartchiropractor.com, click that button, get started with us. We want to help you get up and running. Social, email, you name it. All of that can be automated for your practice. You don't need to slug through editing different documents. You don't need to open things up and hope you can create something that looks halfway decent to get out one time. You just don't need to do any of that. We can do all of that heavy lifting for you. It is literally what we do with the Smart Chiropractor. So there's a lot to unpack right there, Jason. What are some of your favorite tools, or maybe tools that you've gotten the most feedback personally from docs in terms of results for their practice?
You know, everybody knows that social media is the place right now. So the idea that there's just daily inspirational posts is really the starting point. It's sort of been, the leading edge, the cornerstone. We've been doing this, as far as I know, the longest consistently. And it's really, designed to be a public service, a service for your community that really positions you not just as a marketer, but as a mentor. Not just somebody who needs more new patients, but somebody who's actually got a big heart and a generous spirit to want to give, contribute, and be of service to your community. That's really the spirit of it. And that's really where this all begins. So having daily inspirational posts on Facebook and on Instagram is sort of the perfect excuse or perfect gesture that gives you the ability to invite people to not just like your Facebook page, but to like, follow, and see first your Facebook page. If you don't know what that is, you want to know what that is, because that's literally the way that you can, I guess they'll say, hack the Facebook algorithm so that 100% of the people that click like, follow, and see first, because you invited them to wake up to a daily dose of inspiration with you and the other members of your health tribe, those people that take that simple, free action step they're basically opting in. They're saying, yes, hey, Facebook, don't put me in that algorithm of yours. I want to take charge of my Facebook page. I want to take charge of what I receive on my Facebook newsfeed and make sure I receive all of these posts first in my Facebook newsfeed every time a new post is made and I go back to Facebook. That's marketing gold. Nobody else is teaching you that right now. And even if you read about it somewhere, the hard part is providing something consistent that gives you the ability to go, hey, wake up to a daily dose of inspiration with me and my health tribe every day. You can count on posts being there without you having to do that work. So I'll sort of say that's my favorite, energetically about what we do. However, my favorite results wise, this is one of those click the new patient button, just like pour new patients into your practice. One of our philosophies, and we'll get into philosophy as we get into this time together, but one of our most important philosophies, you may want to write this down, is that your best next new patient is keeping your current active patients. Now, I know that sounds somewhat ridiculous, somewhat crazy, but we've worked with hundreds, in fact, thousands of chiropractors over the decades, literally. And we have found that most chiropractors have what we think of as holes in their bucket. And what that means is that there's such a focus and an emphasis on spending money, spending time, bringing in new, let me just call them strangers, people that don't know who you are. They don't know what you do. They don't know how great you are and how terrific your skills are. They just happened to be walking in the mall and saw a spine and maybe saw someone, or they happened to be on Facebook and saw some deep discount and said, wow, maybe for $17 and all that stuff, maybe you can do something for me. We have found that deals attract deal shoppers. That typically is the way it works. That when it comes to healthcare services, when it comes to, let's say, all professional services, you think about this for yourself. Let me ask you, if I were to suggest you go find an accountant, if I were to suggest you were to find, a lawyer, a marriage counselor, any kind of professional service, a counselor, a tutor for your kids. If you were looking for anybody's professional skill set, I'm not talking about commodity products, right? A set of tires is a set of tires. You know the brand, you know the model number. Doesn't matter where you buy them. Maybe you get some extra, customer service or free air maintenance as you go, but it's the same tire, whatever it is. Professional services are different, and that's where we, I think, mess it up collectively, is that we've gotten caught up in this marketing conversation. Let's give them a good deal and get them in. When you focus on attracting deal shoppers, you tend to have what we would think of as the revolving door practice. They come in for the deal, they get the deal, and they typically leave because they were there for cheap care. Most people, most of the time. I know there's a few where you are going to go, no, 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 no. I once ran a coupon, and that person, ended up loving chiropractic so much they married me, or they ran my desk, or they still are with you 20 years later. I know there's exceptions, but generally speaking, if you were to talk to experts about how do I prioritize the least expensive, least amount of time to get the most qualified person into my practice who's going to stay in my practice. When I say stay, that doesn't mean that they're going to go, okay, 3 times a week for the rest of my life, sign me up, here's my card. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that there's a philosophy to attracting people that have been referred to you, to closing the holes in your bucket so that when people come to you, they stay with you. What do I mean by that? I mean that there's nobody I know who doesn't go, I wonder where, if I'll ever need a dentist again. It's just not really what happens. Now, people move, they find a new dentist, but if you think about where you are, you probably have a dentist. Okay. Why do I say that? Well, because it's not a matter of who you're going to see, it's a matter of when you're going to see them next. Okay. And that's really the spirit of what we want to help you build for yourself. Your next best new client is keeping your current clients. So, long way of saying that one of my favorite results-oriented tools that we have included in the Smart Chiropractor is our email reactivation system. And what's super powerful about this are really 3 things. One, the technology you need to automate emails each and every week. This is not just putting it into Gmail or Macmail or Outlook, or this is not one at a time type of email. This is mass amounts of people, the way it's legally done, and it's automatic every week. So one, you get the technology. All right, it's called Chiro Emails, and it's included in the Smart Chiropractor. So you get the technology. 2, you receive our content. We've got pre-written campaigns that are in there to help you, in this case, reactivate the hundreds, in some cases thousands of people that have been sheltering in place, have been quarantined, have been out of routine. I don't know any chiropractic practice that doesn't have a lot of people that are out of routine right now. So the most effective, least expensive, easiest way to build your practice again, to get back into growth mode, is to have a simple way to reactivate the people who already have said yes to you in the past. They know you, they like you, they trust you, they've paid you. Maybe their credit card's on file already. They've got, their past exams have been done. You know them, they know you. It's the easiest yes you're going to get. Okay. So if you start with that, then the next best new client that you're going to find is a friend or family member or coworker of that person who already is a client of yours. We call them referrals, but unless you have automated systems that encourage referrals systematically, not just when you go, hey, who do you know that's got headaches that lives locally that, would like some help, but automatically as part of your system. So the first thing that's great is the technology is included, right? Think of, like you said, Constant Contact or MailChimp. People pay lots of money just for the technology. Okay, included. Then there's writing the right emails that you know are the right length and the right cadence and the right, you know, verbiage and so on that actually generates results. Guess what? Included. We've done that for you. The third part about all of that is that you get customer support with us. So when your staff goes, what do I do with this? How does this work? Whether it's on the technical side, we got help for that. Whether it's on the philosophical side, talk to us. We will help you there. So we're really guiding you to become digital marketing experts without having to know much of anything about digital marketing or being an expert. That's what, you know, we're your entourage. We're the ones who are there working with you and for you to do that work on your behalf. So those are really my two sort of favorite, you know, highlights of what's included in the Smart Chiropractor. And I have to say, I've been, I'll say, amazed and impressed with the feedback of the clients. Everything from small practices just starting out, recent grads, small practices that are just getting into it, to really, really large established practices that go, we've got thousands of people we haven't seen in a while. So the idea of really filling up the holes in your bucket. So when somebody comes, they stay. Up to you. You're always the doctor as to how frequently they see you. But the mindset isn't, thanks for the deal, doc. I'll call you back if I ever need another deal, another, you know, crack of my neck, another. They don't get you. Otherwise, they'd be part of your system. And this is where we sort of tie together the concept of teach and invite consistently. That when you're consistently teaching people what you do, why you do it, the benefits they can experience with you, not just by chiropractic in general, but according to their symptoms, according to their lifestyle goals, according to their needs, not just your sort of routine way of explaining things that, to be perfectly honest with you, most people don't really understand. They don't understand what chiropractic is. They don't understand most of what any of us are saying. We have to translate our message, doctor to doctor, chiropractor to chiropractor, into something that consumers go, I get it. That's simple. I live a better quality of life naturally. I take less drugs. I feel better. I'm more active. I've got greater freedom because of the help you give me. They don't want to become chiropractors. They want to be the best versions of themselves, and they want your help to help them do exactly that. So that's very much sort of the top line of our philosophy. We can get into more details later about, you know, if some of you want to ask about farming versus hunting and all of our sort of philosophy behind all this, we'll take those questions. But Jeff, what are your thoughts? What are some of your favorites?
Yeah, I'll give a quick shout out here. We have Stephen Shoshani coming in and
Good.
saying awesome service. Jason and I both know Stephen personally. We might try to loop him in a few minutes here and actually get his thoughts. He's a doc who practices Manhattan, hustle and bustle. He is in the middle and the thick of it in terms of what's going on right now and in terms of having a very busy practice with a lot on the line. So we've been very, very happy, and we're just happy to help him out because we know him personally, but we're happy to help out every single person who's Smart Chiropractor that comes on board, because that's what it's about, right? We have a private group where we talk shop with all of our docs, and that is really about building relationships. It's about understanding where you're at. As Jason said, customer service. It's about understanding the wants, the needs, what's going on in your practice. Because one thing that you're going to see when I start sharing this is there is a lot underneath the banner of the Smart Chiropractor. Now, I don't say that to intimidate you, because we're going to take care of all of the work for you. So don't stress out about all of the stuff, because it is all there to help you. But depending upon your practice, you might be 1 month in practice, you might be 10 years in practice. There are different needs that you might have. So our service with the Smart Chiropractor, again, built on first principles of marketing, content, relationships, consistency, teaching and inviting. These are principles that work throughout, right? Me as my brand of the evidence-based chiropractor. There's so many docs out there that just they love chiropractic. They really want to work with other healthcare professionals. They want to have a busy practice, but they just can't get over the hump. They have an addiction to degrees. Is anybody out there? It's like the letters on the last name keep adding up, yet it doesn't translate to patients coming into the practice. And the same can be said even if you are not a habitual seminar person. It's tough and it's challenging to try to run a practice and to try to do all of the marketing. It's just, I mean, Jason and I spend 24/7 doing this. This is what we live and breathe. And it's not just us. We have a team of people behind us that enable this system to get up and running. It is no small task. It has taken us nearly half a decade to get where we're at today with it. And we continue to build and add on. As Jason said, we built out an entire campaign module around telehealth, so our docs did not go through as much of a dip as many others out there. Why? Because it was needed, and we included it right away for all of our docs. We added in web exercises right at that same time because of the pivotal nature of being able to get out there and communicate digitally with your patients. Now, as you're building back up, you might say to yourself right now, well, I'm back at 50%, 80%. I'm cool. I'm not trying to get into telehealth right now. No worries. It's there for you, but you're still going to have all of our monthly campaigns, and all of our docs did, even those that did explore telehealth or didn't, monthly campaigns, weekly topics, daily posts. All of that content was still going out. And during that time, we also built what we call the vault. Jason has a great saying, your money's in our vault, which is the truth, because there are just some evergreen pieces of content, things that might not tie into the monthly campaign, but items that you can use time and time again to get results in your practice. We're talking a variety of gifts, a variety of social posts. We have presentations in there, email reactivation protocols, patient reactivation protocols, you name it. All of that and more is in the vault, and that vault is designed to do exactly what it sounds, to house the things that you need to improve the revenues in your practice. This is about clicking a button. This is about coming on board, and it's about getting results. As Jason said as well, this is also something that when we work with docs, this is not about 2-year contracts. This is not about, well, once you sign up, then you have to spend all this other money to get the stuff. This is not advertising like that whatsoever. This is systematizing and creating processes where you're basically outsourcing your marketing to us. We're going to put out that content you can trust. We're going to do it consistently. We're going to do it across all the platforms that make impact. That is really what it is all about. So there are, I would say 90% of our members don't know every aspect of what we're doing, and that's okay. That's exactly the point. And to be honest with you, even those, Jason and I work with practices that are, to be honest with you, that are, at this point, I guess 7, 8 figures and more per year. So even those that have the bandwidth look towards getting help and assistance to refine their processes. Again, these are, as Elon Musk might say, first order principles in the marketing world, not engineering, where we are taking what works, content, consistency, strong calls to action, teaching and inviting, all of these items that are just so well known in the marketing world, and all of the practices, businesses, you name it, that are out there doing well and growing and being able to mitigate all of these challenges are doing very well. But so many chiropractors just either haven't been exposed to it, it's just not their wheelhouse, or they've tried a little bit somewhere, but it's not really been the whole thing. And that is just what leads to challenged results. We'll do it all for you, as we've talked about. We're going to dive in a moment, and we can show you some of what it looks like behind the scenes. But email campaigns, we have them all built out. They are literally ready for us to hit the button. We need you to come on board. We will help you upload the list. We'll send it. And as Dr. Reed Newbaum said, we're going to look later on at his results there. He literally watched the email go out, and then literally watch his online scheduler fill up with patients. This was in the first heat of the pandemic. So, this was something that was a very needed item for his practice. He had overhead. He was looking to help people. People were hurting. People were struggling. And for him to be able to get that email out, and then it became a series, right? So the results kept going. But that first one, that's just such a shot in the arm to a practice when you can get emails out there, get results, get people in the door. Now you're positive on that ROI, right? Now you can start to build some momentum. That's what we love to see. That's what we do all day, every single day. If you follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, I recently posted something. I was experimenting with some of our Smart Chiropractor posts on my personal Instagram page, and I actually grabbed it and shared it. The post was performing 95%. It was better than 95% of my other posts, which I said either is, maybe people don't want to look at selfies of Dr. Jeff Langmaid, or it's a great piece of content that's well positioned. I'll choose choice B. But we're constantly utilizing these tools ourselves to be able to get out there, to get to you as a chiropractor. How did we do that? We did it by teaching and inviting. We did it by sending emails. We've done it by posting content online, by sharing the message of who we are and what we do. And we can absolutely do the same for you, because that is exactly what we do. Jason?
Yeah, I got Stephen, who's been texting me. He's like, let me share his results. So if it's okay, let me hopefully take the risk of trying to bring him on here. And let's see if we can make this happen.
Go
Here
for
we
it.
go. Stephen live. Let's see if we can get him on. Calling you now, Stephen. And let's see if that comes through and hopefully works just fine.
Sharing the message of who we are and what we do.
I think we got
He's
him.
watching.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Right on. Hey, Stephen.
How's it going?
Good. You got your video? There you
Oh,
go.
there he is.
Beautiful New York City.
Yeah, hey.
You had a good day in practice?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're doing great.
Okay, cool.
You had a good day?
It was a really busy day, yeah. Busy day.
Fantastic, fantastic. So let's just open it up. You've been, not only have we went to school together, we've been friends for a long time. Our families know each other and so on. But even with that, you've had your in-house guy for a long time. He's professional. Got you on Dr. Oz more than anybody who's ever been on Dr. Oz. You've got an extremely successful practice down in probably the coolest part of New York City, the coolest city in town, in the nation, if not the world. Floor is yours. I mean, what have you noticed? Let's start with, was it easy to sort of get implemented, get set up, get your team on board? Was it sort of easy to get started with?
Absolutely. So I have a girl that I tasked her with, you're in charge of the Smart Chiropractor. You're in charge of getting the email list out. And pandemic, I mean, it was tremendous for us because in the past I had an in-house guy that I paid to write content, and it was often not spell checked the right way, and we struggled for content. So he's only working like a couple hours a month, so we're saving hundreds of dollars there because he has like really nothing to do. So instead of working 40 hours a month, he's working 8 hours a month. So it saves me hundreds of dollars, if not thousands. And then just the simple thing of cleaning out the email list. We have 13,000 patients in our database, and we whittled it down to like 6,800. So 6,800 emails that are well written, that put us in a good light, and the response has been great. So it came at the right pandemic. Patients were poof gone. We were seeing 200 a week down to 12. So letting people know that we're around and open, they're like, I didn't know you were open. So that was huge. I mean, it's been awesome, and just not even using, was it not constant? Yeah, Constant Contact. That was $100 a month. So I'm not using them. We dropped that. And you said the web exercises, our physical therapist loves that as well.
Oh, great.
So I mean, it's a no-brainer if people are watching it. I mean, the $400 or $500, whatever the program costs, is well worth what it is, and then some.
Thank you. Do you have are you getting any feedback from people coming in? Do they mention anything? They go, oh, thanks for the inspirational post, or that was an interesting newsletter, or do they engage or comment much with your current people? Because this is designed to do two things, right? It's designed to help new people come in, but it's also designed to keep those people coming in to keep coming in, not just to keep them coming in, but because they understand why they should continue care for lifestyle benefits beyond their initial. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So I think that one of the newsletters was about boosting your immune system, but it wasn't written too aggressive where it could get you in trouble, because you've seen stuff out there. Chiropractors are getting written up by, you can't say that. So well written, and people explain to me how that works. It opens up the door for conversation, putting me at risk, because sometimes people will post stuff and they'll get Google it. they're getting written up by the board. So you just got to be careful, and you guys curate the material where it's not too aggressive in one way, which has been great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So somebody's considering it. I mean, any thoughts? And if you're watching, we do get some questions there, Jeff. If you want to, or I can take a look. We got Jamie saying, "Can we do our own email campaigns?" I guess what I'm asking is, if I use MailChimp for other program services I offer, can I use your software for that too? That's a great question. In fact, I'm going to come back to you in just a second, Stephen, because you're doing exactly the right thing. And the answer, Jamie, is yes. You can use our technology. We have pre-written email templates and campaigns already written for you. And yes, you can take whatever you've done in any other system and import that into the Chiro email system so that you can get rid of the expense, like Stephen just said, of anything else, migrate it into this. And so the answer is yes, you can use our email system both with our pre-written content. You can add and use whatever, add whatever campaigns have worked for you, create new ones. Once you see sort of the protocol, the template, and how easy it is to create these campaigns specifically with our system, that's part of the cool part about knowing the right technology to use, is you go, wait a minute, I can do that. So you can do that. And so Jamie, thank you for your question. That's exactly right. Stephen, what I know you've been doing is the same thing on social media, which is, there are some docs that just go, you guys handle it, do your thing. I don't want to know. I don't care to know. I know I've got an idea of what you're doing. I trust you guys. And for $2.99 a month, I can't lose. So that's one level of the game. Stephen, you're a pro. You've been doing social media, probably longer than most chiropractors I'm aware of, and know you're a pro at it. You do exactly what we love to see, which is let us do sort of the day-to-day inspirational posting, but you go that extra mile, which is awesome. And you really sort of, document some people who come in, you show their care. Let me kick it over to you to sort of describe some of your more recent, Instagram and Facebook posts that I would like to say, you can confirm or deny, but I'd like to say gets you more engagement, because the more they're involved daily with seeing the inspirational stuff, the more you've got kind of an excited audience going, what else you got? And when you give them what you gave them, then all of a sudden you've got more people there who are sort of going, that's cool, that's interesting, asking questions like, can you do that for me? Can you do that for my mom? Can you, how soon can I get in to see you? So what has been your experience there?
So Instagram has been great for me. Like, when the pandemic hit, I really leaned in heavily on Instagram and boost ads. And, for $20 or $30 for a campaign, which I managed myself from my phone, I was able to target like a 1 mile radius of people that are interested in this, that, and the other. And I just did like a 59-second video that I edited on my iPhone using iMovie of me adjusting a person walking in and, clipping it out and writing something. And I think, for like 7 or 8 patients that week. It was huge, and it's still coming in. So what's nice is we put a video of me doing it, and then you guys post stuff, and it's actually pushed me to do more content, because I don't feel like I'm doing enough, and there's guys out there that doing everything. They're adjusting, putting 5 or 6 posts a day. I'm doing one. So you guys put one, I put one, and it's a real active live page, so patients will see it and comment and come in, DM me and come in. So it's been great.
Jeff, you got questions?
I think it's awesome. I mean, Stephen and I met out in California, of all places. Both of us are on the East Coast. We met over on the West Coast a couple of years back.
Yeah, totally.
And I've always just been super impressed with, with your practice. You practice in a tough location where there's a lot of competition. It's not easy. And, I think you're a great example of somebody who's always willing to learn, who's interested in utilizing technology for the benefit of your practice, and wants to make an impact. And that I'll give you kudos, because I just think that is so impressive, because I know a lot of docs, and you and I talked before you came on with the Smart Chiropractor as well, and it's like, sometimes it's a big decision, like what you're doing with your marketing and which direction you want to go. it is a big decision for a lot of docs out there. But I don't have much of a question, more of a statement, just to say, I appreciate you coming on board and trusting us with your marketing. Again, you're somebody who's been on, Dr. Oz, you've been on national television, you've done, so much that, to work with you and to hear the results that you told us just makes me super pumped. And I'll also say, maybe this is a question for offline instead of right now, but continue to tell
Yeah.
us how we can improve the program and make it better. We love that feedback, because that's really what it's all about, is ultimately being able to have conversations like this.
I mean, it's great. I also love the content where you have a scripted Facebook Live that as your recommendation, I use Big View, and
Yeah.
it's a teleprompter. And I mean, I listen to you do it. It takes me literally now, instead of doing it in 8 takes, it takes 2 takes, and it's super easy to upload. I don't know how many patients are watching it, but you get a couple likes, and it's a slow, steady build. And like you said, consistency is the most important thing. Don't just do it once, keep on doing it, and it'll definitely come back. I mean, I'm impressed with the results that I've been getting. So I got to say,
That's
the
awesome.
email's been amazing and worth the price alone just for the emails.
Thank you. Stephen, I'm going to ask you for whatever level you feel like sharing or not sharing, but it's my understanding that Dr. Oz and several other media examples, you've been in magazines, international magazines, many different opportunities, but in several of those cases, from what I understand, that was people looking and finding you. And this wasn't
Yes.
about you cold calling them, but because you have good quality social media presence, then when people are searching for a chiropractor, they that's how they search. They look, they go to Google, they search, they check out options, but they also are going to Facebook to go, what are people saying about this doc? What's their sort of social credibility? Of people like them, not like them? And this isn't just reviews. This is what kind of engagement are you getting? What can you share about sort of those unexpected surprises that happened because you are so consistent on social media?
I think it helps being an early adapter, but I never said no to opportunities, and having your staff trained. If your staff's answering the phone, having trained to know what a real opportunity is and a fake opportunity, because there's plenty of people out there that'll call you and say, "Hey, do you want to be on TV?" Okay, great. Well, I'll charge you $2,500 and we'll be in, and it's a scam. We've all been burned. So you have to know, hey, it's a producer from a TV show at Fox to contribute, how to sit during your work, read through the cracks and see who's real, see who's fake, and you know, really say, yeah, it's appropriate. Never, it's not convenient for me. You have to, have to be flexible and accommodating and do what people ask you to do. I mean, that's basically from that. I've always had my opportunities because I always said yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's interesting, you just sort of said exactly the same thing. When people call you, you're like, who is this? What is this all about? You'll go see what they're up to see if they're legit. That's how most of us, figure out who's who in today's world. We go online, we Google them, we see what they're up to on Facebook, and we go, oh, I didn't know I knew so and so that knows this person. Or, that's how we discover whether this is someone we can trust or not trust, or whether this is a place of business that people are happy with and support, or whether they're not so much, and it's more of a discount, I'll say transactional type of a practice, as opposed to I'll say really a patient-centered, service-oriented relationship style of practice, which I know is what you have,
Right.
Stephen. I mean, people love you. They travel the world. I know
We
you've
don't
been on
discount.
private
We
jets,
don't
the
do
whole
discount.
thing. Right. You don't discount
Right.
because people value what you do, because they value who you are, because you really have become sort of an online celebrity. And Dr. Oz would not need to discount his care to people. He'd have a waiting list
Correct.
of people because he fits in that celebrity kind of category. And when you are consistently posting, and when people are engaging, and when other people are starting to share their experiences, that elevates you and your credibility, not just because of how much you talk about yourself, but because of how much they share and basically comment and endorse their experience with you. So you're doing all the right things, Stephen. Anything else? I don't want to take all night. I know you had a long day and so on, but anything else you care to share, Steve?
Well, it's 2 in New York, so where restaurants are open now. So it's phase 2, so I'll probably head out and hit a restaurant.
All
Be
right.
careful of those. Be careful of those crazy guys on the streets. I watch, your. I watch your social media posts, and
It's
many of
getting
us do.
better. It's getting better.
Good.
Getting better, but no, seriously,
Good.
if anyone's on the fence, it's a no-brainer. I mean, between the exercise program that our loves and patients love to the emails, I mean, drop contact or whatever, other programs you're using. I mean, it's been amazing.
Thank
So
you.
thank you guys. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Stephen.
Appreciate it a lot. Next round's on me. I appreciate it, buddy. Have a great night, Stephen. I'll see you soon.
Take care. Thank you.
Good night.
All right, bud. Thank you.
All right. We had a live special guest on via eCam on Skype on Facebook. This is cool. So that was awesome. And again, I think Stephen runs just one of those practices. It is highly competitive. He's been in the game. He's been utilizing it. He's a great example. We'll look through some other examples, but he's a great example of real results for what I'm going to call a mature practice. He has a very stable, highly successful practice. You can see the view he's got going on there. I mean, that alone, come on. I mean it when I say, it's really something that is an honor and a privilege to be able to help docs, whether it's their first day in practice, whether it's 10 years in practice. Everybody has a unique story. But the same principles that he went through apply across the spectrum. Being consistent with your content, saying yes, getting out there. Let's talk about that, because that's really stretching your comfort zone. Now, here's the beauty of what we're going to do with the Smart Chiropractor with your practice is that we're going to do all of the work for you. So you don't need to stress out. However, this ties into a question I'm going to bring up right now on the screen. Jamie had a follow-up question, and it was that she knows she needs to make more content and have it be more personal. Do we provide scripts? Absolutely. If you are interested in stretching the comfort zone, we kind of call that our active care plan. Those are the individuals that are really looking to go above and beyond. We're going to support you every single day. And when I say every single day, I actually mean that literally, because we have scripts set up for Motivational Monday, Testimonial Tuesday, Wake Up Wednesday, Tactical Thursday, Friday favorites. As you can see, we didn't make this up today. We've been doing this for a while, and we have a system that's completely built out that ties those, what we call daily action and accountability videos, into the weekly topic. Because you might have said to yourself right then, about Testimonial Tuesday. Well, if I do a testimonial this Tuesday, what am I going to do next week? And I'm going to run out of Motivational Mondays. I'm going to run out of things to say after the first one. No worries, you won't, because we always tie it into the weekly topic and then the monthly campaign. Your monthly campaigns change, the weekly topics change, and that enables you to just step up. I'm going to let Jason say his metaphor on this because it's such a good one. It allows you to step up and just take it that last 5%. And sometimes that last 5% it's leverage. That can be an inflection point for so many practices, where then you start to see 3 and 5 reactivations or patient activations, new and old, become much more than that. So it depends on you, it depends on what you want to do. Jamie, just by you asking that question, head over to smartchiropractor.com. Let's work together. I think this is going to be a great pairing. But Jason, talk a little bit about those daily videos and those docs that are interested in taking that active pathway.
Yeah, it's, in addition to sort of what you just saw us do, we'll teach and show you, what technology, so you can do something similar. So, for example, you mentioned Friday favorites. One of the ways we're going to recommend that you expand your audience, what we call build your health tribe. Your health tribe being all the people that you can digitally connect with. We just think of that as your tribe of people that want to learn more about their health. Right? So we just call it your health tribe. If you want to grow your health tribe, one of the best ways, this is one of those write these down free advice, because the issue is in execution, not just in the idea. So I'll give you the idea, no problem. And I hope you do it. But on Friday favorites, one of the things you want to think about are, who are the favorite people you refer to on a regular basis? When I say favorite people, I mean other professionals locally that people ask you about, you're often referring to, or favorite people that work at some of your favorite places, whether it's a gym or a health food store or a supplement store, whatever it may be, right? You've got people you refer to regularly, authentically. People ask you questions, you're like, oh, my favorite massage therapist, my favorite trainer, my favorite fill in the blank, right? If you want to grow your audience, grow your health tribe with people that are actually interested in following you, then one of the things you can do on Fridays, on Favorite Friday, is to do what we just did, which is to interview someone who works at one of your favorite places or is one of your favorite professionals and endorse them. Talk to, right? Think of this as I'm going to provide my health tribe, your audience. I want to provide my audience the resources they need to live their best life. So by interviewing some of your favorite professionals and making those videos available to your health tribe, then what you're really doing is serving your people at a higher level, right? So when people say to you, hey, is there a personal trainer you recommend? I know it's about time. Is there a massage therapist you recommend? You go, yeah, I actually have in my video library as part of our health tribe on our Facebook page. I've got an interview I did with that person, that place, that doc, a few months ago. Go to our Facebook page, look under videos, and watch what we talk about. It's sort of like meet him, meet her in the interview. Now, here's where it gets exciting. So one, you're actually providing a greater level of service and value to your people. And if that's all you did, I'd say that's a win, okay? Like I said, the best new patient is keeping your current patients. Serving your current people at a higher level is going to encourage them to stick around longer because why would they go anywhere else? You are serving them to the best of your ability. But here's where it gets exciting. If you do it by following our protocol, and that's an important part of this whole thing, is the protocol. All right. You want to think of a protocol just like you think of your adjusting technique. There are certainly those that just bang the high spot. They're like, okay, I don't know, feels a little tight, looks a little tight. So randomly you just pick stuff and boom, you're doing something, right? Activity isn't results. So some people probably, I'll say, do their social media that way or do their marketing that way. Oh, I got to do something. What should I do, right? Where's the valley? Where's the peak? Where's the something I've got to react to? That often leads to the roller coaster practice, right? Because as soon as it starts working and you get people in, you stop doing it, and then you go back, right? So it's in the consistency. But where it makes a huge difference is if you follow our protocol, our technique, so to speak, right? How to do it correctly, then what you'll learn is how to give that video, how to share and tag the person in the video. So you use proper social media etiquette, which many people don't even know what that even means, and there is one. But you use the right etiquette, and that person you're endorsing will oftentimes enthusiastically share your video interviewing them with their audience. And what does that equal? That equals you getting exposed to an entirely new audience, not with a deep discount ad, but with an endorsement. So when you go, hey, let me introduce you to my favorite personal trainer, and that personal trainer goes, hey, everyone, guess who just interviewed me? My favorite chiropractor. Check out my interview. Now you've got win, win, win. 3 wins. People win because they get the information they need. Like, oh, now I know where to get the right personal trainer. Thanks, doc. The trainer wins because now they've got an endorsement to go, you're not sure I'm great? Well, that chiropractor thinks I'm great, right? And you get the win because all of a sudden, if you follow our protocol, that person's going to be sharing that video of you endorsing them with their audience, which is basically an endorsement of you. So that's just one of the many, right? Motivational Monday, this gives you a protocol. So do you have to do every day? No, you don't. You can pick and choose whichever days that you want to, but think if you're going to look in the mirror for a moment and just think about this for a moment, I'm sure I'm not the only person who's guilty of saying, I need to post something. What should I post? Well, maybe I should post this, or maybe I should post that. But if I do this and not that, oh wait, there's the other thing I can post. And you end up posting nothing because you spent all your time thinking about what you should post. You run out of time, you get distracted, and you go, forget it. So there's something to sort of the what I call paint by numbers approach, which is if you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, you can connect the dots, you're going to have the big picture of what marketing looks like for your practice. And again, I'll reiterate, we are chiropractors first. We just happen to be geeks who love technology. So you're not, just hiring technology people that don't know chiropractic. I don't know anywhere else that has the amount of technology, again, email, social media, in-office video, printed materials, and on, scripting, training on all. I don't know anyone else who is a chiropractor in the chiropractic profession, serving the chiropractic profession, that offers such a comprehensive approach. It's not just a thing, it is a system, it's ongoing, and it's designed to keep fresh content, fresh messaging in front of people so that you can keep them engaged, keep them excited, and keep them in your practice for as long as they know they should be there, which to us is a lifetime. Again, you're the doctor, just, you determine how frequently that you think is appropriate for each person. Our concept is that you are building a relationship, that you're their chiropractor. Whether they see you once a year, once a month, once a week, that's on you. But you're the place they're going to when it comes to it. And you're also making it easy for them to refer their friends, family, and their social network to you, because it's so easy to share a video, share a post that then introduces new people to you. And automatically, if you've ever bought something on social media that you didn't intend on buying, a lot of us were like, oh, just saw this movie, just bought this car, just went on this vacation, just bought this new widget. And the next thing you know, let me see that. That looks awesome. The next thing you're buying it too. It's how it works. It's the way we are all cultured. That's our culture these days. Jeff, I'll kick it back to you. Do we have any questions coming in? Or
I think the last one, I think we got.
I probably haven't said go to the smartchiropractor.com. It's risk-free. If you don't love it, let us know. You got 30 days to go give me my money back. And, we're just trying to help be of service to you so you can get the results you need, serve the people that want your service, and make your life just much easier. You don't need to make it any more difficult than necessary. Jeff?
I agree. Let's take a quick look. I'm going to share screen here. All right. Hopefully, maybe, kind of, sort of. There we go. All right, cool. So, and Jamie's got another question here. We'll get to that in just one moment. So on the screen right now, I just wanted to show some of the kind of what you get. We like to talk about benefits because this is about benefits and results. It's about benefits and results for your practice, but there is something to be said about like what's involved here. So we'll quickly go through some of these things and then we'll take a quick look also inside of the members vault. But let me bring up Jamie's question real quick. Do you provide training for our staff to handle the material as well? The answer to that is absolutely yes. You and your staff, whoever you choose, will have access to the members area that we can take a look at. There's a variety of video trainings in there. There are reports, templates, guides, you name it. All of that is there. We also have a Quickstart implementation guide that walks you through, literally, we just revamped this in the last month, that literally walks through step 1, step 2, like press this, and there's picture, press this button to do this, press this button to do this. So it makes it exceptionally easy. And on top of that, we have the Facebook group where we are actively involved every single day. I think we have 80% engagement, something like that, in the Facebook group, which is awesome. So anytime that there's a question that revolves around concept, feel free to ask it there. And anytime that you have a technical question, we also have a full-time support team. So we have a full-time team dedicated towards answering any of those questions. And I want to be super clear about that. That's not because it's exceptionally hard to use. That's because we service hundreds of docs. So things come up. We're onboarding people during open enrollments. Anthony on our team there does a fantastic job walking you through. We always start out with an implementation call. It can be you, it could be a team lead, however you'd work through that with your practice. But that implementation call enables us to go through all the steps to get your automations running. So we'll do all of that for you. And then you have access to everything else as well. So that's a very long-winded way of saying, yeah, we got you covered. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Jamie, thank you for your questions. And if you have any others, feel free to ask them. I mean, my big thing with this, and I know Jason feels the same way, is if you're watching this and there's any reason you don't think this is going to work for your practice, ask it and let us know. because we'd love to address it. It would be a rare instance where it was the first time we received a question about something. So chances are we just haven't either covered it yet, or we just have so much to cover that we haven't got to it. So if there's anything that you want to know about, please feel free to ask. With all that being said, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's on the screen here. This is at the Smart Chiropractor. If you wanted to dive into this personally, www.thesmartchiropractor.com. I think we dropped the link as the first comment here as well. You can head on over and scroll down, and you'll see these are sort of the core things. Now, we've continued, I'm going to tell you, we've continued to add on to this. So there's the vault. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. However, this is the core material. So you're going to notice that there's automated daily Facebook and Instagram posting. That's something we went through with Dr. Steven. It's just a core tenet of what we do. We then go through, if we look towards the next line, I'm going to jump around a little bit, all of the emails, right? So onboarding emails, weekly emails, reactivation emails. We recently built the success series of emails, the telehealth series. All of these are press a button, turn it on and turn it off. And it's not turn each one on. You enter your information one time. We have built this so it actually, you enter your name, a picture, your online schedule, your website. That all gets ported into our email system, and it's all waiting there for you. Every email is completely customized and personalized with your stuff. I've never seen anything like it. It took us a long time to do, and it is awesome because it enables you to press one button and then have a whole chain of emails go out, and you get to just press one button each time. Basically you get to say, hey, do I want to turn on telehealth? Cool, am I doing that? Great, let's turn on that sequence. It goes out. Or I'm not ready to do that yet. No worries, it's there if and when you are ready, but let's get your reactivation sequence going out. That's what that implementation call and success call is all about on the front end. We want to get all of that stuff revved up for you. Directly in that middle column, third one down, Jamie, is exactly what we just talked about, daily video scripts, so that you can dominate Facebook, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. We want to make sure that you're getting out there each and every day. The Facebook group, you'll notice, the support team, you'll notice there, the training for your team on the left-hand column, the implementation, patient education handouts. We believe that trifold brochures heyday is over, that keeping your content fresh in office is just as important as online. So we're going to hook you up with patient education handouts that tie into the weekly topic and the monthly campaign. So you're going to have fresh ones that you can put out and print each and every week. The third column, second to the bottom, that's a hard way to explain this, is the reception area streaming video. We call that Smart TV. This is what we talked about at the beginning. I call this the biggest sleeper of our program because, quite frankly, we've talked about it very little. We actually had a member today that was like, how do I get that turned on? And we were like, you got to do it. Because he had saw another member say, this is my favorite part of the Smart Chiropractor, because I was paying hundreds of dollars before to have something up there that I wasn't thrilled about, that didn't tie really to any sort of marketing campaign of what was going on. Or worse yet, we see docs out there that have on, I don't care what news channel, any news channel playing in your probably time to upgrade. We're going to hook you up. The Smart TV, the beauty of it, you set it up, and we're going to update it for you automatically, wirelessly, magically, each and every month. So you're going to have new content that ties in there. Facebook Messenger, obviously you can see there's a variety of Facebook things here, cover images, videos, Messenger. We want to make sure that you have a absolutely optimized page so you can maximize your impact with it. Jason, I just went through about a million things. I feel like we got a million to go here, but what are some of your thoughts there?
Well, I just want people to understand that you want to think about this like a toolkit. All right. So if I went into my garage, I'd have a big, I've got a big bucket, it's my tool bucket, whatever you call it. And the reason I bring that up is because the goal is not for me to use every tool every day, right? It is a place that has everything I need to build what I want to build. On some occasions, I may use all of the tools. On some occasions, I might use some of the tools, but I don't go, well, I'm only going to use 4 of these things, so I don't need to buy the other things I might one day need also. So don't get intimidated if you're like, wow, that seems like a lot of stuff. Think of them as resources that are available for you when you're ready to implement. You could start as small or as large as you would like to. depending on your practice, your resources, your ambition, when I say resources, I mean the people you have to say. If you've got somebody who you can go, be the point person, be accountable, get this going, and even maybe incentivize them to get it done sooner rather than later, that is perfect. So that's one of the main things I want to, make sure people understand. A second thing we really didn't talk about, and it's sort of been, maybe you've been thinking this. We mentioned marketing, and to most people, when they think of marketing, they think of advertising. And really what we're talking about when Jeff said, well, you get the kit, you don't have to then spend thousands of dollars on ad spend, which is often the case, right? You pay an agency a lot of money, and then you got to pay for all the ads, right? And then you wait and see, and then you've got all this pressure to get results because you're in it for, thousands of dollars in a month, each month on ad spend. Again, all relative to where you are and what your goals are, but you are investing money, sometimes wasting money, to interrupt strangers, typically with a deep discount deal. What we have found is that, again, if you want to set it and forget it and just use our automated system and just enjoy what we do for you, that's awesome. We call that our passive client, our passive pathway, right? That's just like people that come in and go, listen, don't try to change my lifestyle. I'll come in, I'll lay down on your table, you adjust me, but don't give me all the other stuff. I'm happy with my life. I just want this handled for me. No problem. But there are those that are like, no, I'm training for this program, or I'm a competitor, or I'm an athlete, or I'm always pushing the needle. Your job is to help me bring my best, not just to handle things I don't want to deal with. Okay, that's the other spectrum. And if you're on that side of the spectrum and you do want to invest in advertising, using all of our content will help make your advertising that much more effective. It'll be less expensive and more effective because you're able to retarget people that have consumed your content. That is a different type of advertising than just blatantly, opening up, whether it's boosting a post, whether, randomly when you go, that was a good one. You can build systems. So if you are into doing advertising, having this kind of content allows you to then really target your audiences to people that have been reading, watching, or listening to your content to make whatever advertising you're doing even more effective. What do you got over there? Content and consistency. Those are, the two C's that, are critical.
That's it. It maybe goes without saying, but we're not big fans of hope for the best marketing, or let me read this: hope for the best advertising. Even better, right? I just advertise some things and hope for the best, right? We'll cross that bridge when they get in the front door. That is a really, really challenging way. I'll be very nice. That's a challenging way to go about your marketing. As Jason said, there's marketing, and advertising is like a small piece of it. You really should have 90%, as a chiropractor, I'm going to say you should have 90% of your marketing should be content driven, and 10% should be advertising. There's some exceptions to that, but this is not, you're not Pepsi, we're not Coca-Cola, right? Where this is about just, absolutely flooding market with advertising more than content. You are about relationships. You are about communicating the benefits of your care. The challenge, as you see on the screen, is that most chiropractors don't do it very consistently, and they don't have great content. And that places you at a supreme disadvantage. It basically makes it impossible. So we want to solve that for you because we'll put together the content. It's a Smart Chiropractor, so it is research-based content. We cite everything. If you notice the social posts, they're cited. All of the content has citations, so our smart content, we're giving ourselves props a little bit, but we're also giving props to all those researchers doing the real hard work that make it easy for us to dive into. I'd say our special skill set is on the backside of what you see right there, which is the strategy, right? And I want to go one step farther. It's not just the strategy, but it's having the stuff, right? There's a lot of great teachers out there, a lot of great people in our profession, beyond our profession, that talk about what you can do and how you should do it. That's important, but let's get real. We get back up to those two C's. And consistency is brutally difficult. And content, good luck. You even heard Dr. Steven earlier, who had a full-time content person who was like, I still was having trouble with consistency, with clarity of messaging. It's just tough. We're kind of weird as chiropractors. You need somebody who knows how to deliver the message of who you are and what you do. Now, there's nobody that can do that better than you, but that's a skill that needs to be developed, right? Just as your first adjustment's probably not as good as the one you delivered, the last one you delivered in the practice today. Our skill is taking the heart of chiropractic, the skill set of chiropractic, and ultimately the benefits that chiropractic delivers to the people in your communities, and making sure that we automate that message for you to make it easy for those people in your community to choose you, not because you had a discount, not because you had a deal, not because you had the next 100 people get free iPhones. No, not these tangential, hacky gimmicks. This is about ensuring that you have a consistent stream of high quality, beautifully designed content and messaging set on autopilot that enables you to help more people in your community. We are going to beat that drum time and time again. Every one of these open enrollments, we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. And we have a lot of tools that are also, not to preempt other things, but we have a lot of optimization tools that are in the queue that if you're watching this right now and you're unsure of, I can tell you, don't wait, because we are going to continue to increase the price because we keep adding things in. Automated email was something we added in about a year and a half ago. It took us about a year and a half to add it in because we wanted to do it right. We added in telehealth and web exercises, as Dr. Steven was saying earlier, to help you drive more value, more revenue, more connection with your patients. Those that might be a little hesitant to come into the office, those that, if and when something else comes up and all of a sudden everybody's in a challenge situation, get yourself set up for success now. Get those lists build those communication channels, have the tools and systems that you can press a button, activate, and as Dr. Reed did, watch a schedule fill up instead of sitting there saying, ay, it's not a good position to be in. We've all been there. Jason and I have been there as well. I mean, I can tell you, I did some advertising early on in my career, and I was doing these info educational things in the paper. And yes, I am that old, believe it or not. I had stuff in the paper, and it didn't work. There was no connection. There was no anchor. And this is a learned skill that's taken, decades of combined experience to understand how do we systematize and how do we create a process out of this so this can help every chiropractor that wants to be a part of it. That is our goal, and the goal for you is results. That is exactly why when we go through this, it is all about, there is a money back guarantee. There's risk. There's zero risk whatsoever. Give us an opportunity to showcase to you. If it's not abundantly clear, then we're having difficulty with our messaging right now. But if it's not abundantly clear to you, I'm going to say, come on board. Let us get going with you. Get those emails. Let's get your list uploaded. Let's get some emails going out. Let's start to get some consistency. You're going to sleep a heck of a lot better at night, and I will nearly guarantee that you're going to have some results coming in very short order, because that is what it is all about. We've done this time and time again. We've worked with hundreds of practices. We've worked with $100,000 practices. We've worked with $10 million practices, and I don't mean to exaggerate that. That is literal, and everything in between. So chances are we've worked with a practice like yours, whether you're an associate, whether you're a new doc, whether you are a clinic owner who has multiple locations, whether you're in an urban environment, whether you're in a suburban or a rural environment. Again, I'm going to go back to, these are principles of marketing that we built this on. That's the strength of this program, because it's not something where we are going to be caught off guard. We are able to be nimble. We're able to adapt because it's built on such a strong foundation. Jason?
Well, it's built on a strong foundation, and we're crazy. You know, So, our job is not how do we make the most amount of money. Our job is how do we provide the most amount of service. That's just how we think. It's how we operate. In many cases, the team you talk about that basically is the machine that makes this happen for all of us. It's a love-hate relationship because we're always saying, we got to improve this, we got to improve this, we got to add that, we've got to make sure our people have the best and the latest and greatest. You talk about us doing this, for decades back in the newspaper days. I was there, been there, done that. However, what we also do, and this is one of the, again, unique things about working with us, is you get the benefit both of our decades of experience. Jeff has worked literally in the largest non-surgical medical facility on the planet, from my understanding. So we've got the experience. However, we also love technology. If you know my background, I had an early exposure to Facebook, and it was, really fascinating to get to see from the very beginning, early on, how it has all unfolded. I've literally been watching, studying, learning at a very close pace. I got a front row seat here where I am here in California to how this all works. We know people that still work at Facebook and all these other places. So you get our knowledge and experience applied for you. We keep up to date with all the new changes. You know what Messenger Rooms are? Do you know what's coming up next with Facebook Messenger? Do you know how to make sure that Messenger is HIPAA compliant? Do you know how to use texting and make sure texting is email compliant? This is the stuff we geek out on, and we love to share it with our people. What I'd recommend for people, if you're watching or even considering doing this, if you want best results, at the risk of sounding self-serving, but at the knowing of what the truth is, I'd recommend you find what we call an accountability partner. Another chiropractor who maybe you went to school with, or who you talk to regularly, who you just enjoy connecting with, and set the gauntlet down. Have a friendly, quote, competition. I don't mean to win and beat the other person necessarily, but I mean so that you both push each other to perform at your best. You keep each other accountable to making sure, and maybe put a few, friendly, a gentleman bet, women bet. I don't know what the right terms are anymore. A friendly wager that says, we're going to implement this faster, we're going to reach more people. It's not just about what you're going to get. Yes, that's a key metric, of course it is. But understand that outcomes are a byproduct of actions. That if all you do is measure the outcome, you're short-sighted and you're not going to reach where you want to reach. You're not going to get there because results are a result of things you do. And so one of the things you want to make sure is that you're doing those things that cause results. And it's great to measure results, but if you don't measure the things that are also going to generate results, then you're going to have limited success. So when you have an accountability partner, all of a sudden this becomes more fun. It just becomes, hey, did you get that? Did you get your Facebook page set up for your practice? Did you get that email put out yet? I did. Did you? And you get to sort of help each other. You could do 2, 3, 4 of you, do small groups. We've got docs in our group that are just sort of, their competition is now they're sort of sharing their videos. They're sharing, new ideas like their Friday favorite videos, or, and we're all there to support each other to do our best. And none of us knows everything, but all of us probably do. So when, somebody shares a video and we go, hey, if you turn that light a little bit more, it's going to make a difference. If you use this, technology, this microphone, or, this, as you mentioned earlier, the teleprompter, these are ways to make it easier and more impactful. So many of us, we're guilty of it. You get, paralysis by analysis. You're like, is it the right microphone? Maybe I'll wait till another few months and I'll order the right microphone. And we just come up with great excuses. They're really creative of, why, unless it's perfect, we can't take action. I know you're guilty of this too. Anyway, if you get an accountability partner or 3, then you can work this together. Your staff and teams can work together and so on. It's just going to help really create that friendly pressure to make sure you're driving results. It's like a workout buddy. It's just really easy to sleep in when you don't have somebody you've got to show up for. Same kind of idea there. So we can be that for you. but in many cases, you went to school with someone, you've got a good friend that you've, been kind of grown into practice with. Have a good time with it and enjoy it. You're going to love the results because you're going to love how easy it is and how fun and even creative. People think, these scripts are like, I don't want to be scripted. Yeah, you do. You do want to be scripted. Now, when I say that, what I mean is, no, you don't want to sound like a robot. No, you don't want to be canned. Of course not. But, there's very few people that basically get on their bicycle and can ride it, right? So most of us have training wheels, so that when you get on, you can sort of wobble a little bit and you can afford to make some mistakes because there's some support right there, right? So, let us be your training wheels so that you can get out, build some momentum and go, wait a minute, I can get some speed. Look what I can do. Then you can do your tricks and all that stuff later. But let us get you off the ground, get you started, be your support, be both your support, like, what do I do now? And also be your support. Great job. Keep it up. Why don't you try this for even better results? The smartchiropractor.com. We do intentionally increase our prices as time goes on. The longer you wait, the more expensive it will be. We do that on purpose to say, don't wait, now's the time. And we do these open enrollments. So if you don't say yes during the open enrollment, it closes tonight, then it'll go back to our normal suggested retail. Why do we do that? Because we then get to say, okay, it's time to get into training mode for a new freshman class of people that we want to focus our attention on onboarding, serving, training, okay? Then we got our class through, you guys are up and running. We can get back to building more stuff, new stuff. It's really difficult to do all of that at the same time and keep our prices as low as they are. So that's the way we do it. We go into shifts. We go, okay, it's training mode, then it's building mode, growing mode, training mode, and so on. We'll invite you to do the same. If you've got questions, now's the time. We'll get wrapping up in just a little bit, but we want to make sure you've got access to ask the questions you need and feel the support that it's a great decision. It's a smart investment for smart chiropractors who want to build your practice. You want to be a modern chiropractor. You want to be known as a mentor, not just a marketer. We talked earlier, we just sort of dropped that idea of, really the difference between a transactional-based practice. Hey, guess what? Adjustments are only $35. Oh, no, they're only $30. No, they're $25. And you're selling a transaction at a discounted price. You're playing, the race to the bottom, and you just got to be careful that you don't actually win. That's the mentality of that's what marketing has brought out. I don't think it's brought out our best. I think it's brought out our worst. We want to just sort of give it to somebody else to just drive anybody with a spine into our practice, thinking that those are the people that are going to stick around. It's just not true. Most of those people do not stick around, but you have this self-fulfilling prophecy and self-induced addiction, because if people don't stick around, you're addicted to needing more new ones. Right? If you got a big hole in your bucket because you don't attract people that actually have learned about you, connected to you, and learned about your unique chiropractic. Listen, take a moment and think of this for a moment. If I tell you that I'm a chiropractor and you're a chiropractor, do you know what I do as a chiropractor? Then you're a chiropractor. So one of the things, think about it for a moment, really. So one of the things that's important for people to be able to not just choose chiropractic, but to choose you as their chiropractor. And those are two different things, right? If they're choosing chiropractic, then the answer is find the cheapest, closest option, right? Chiropractic's chiropractic, if that's your consciousness on it, okay? Think about it. If all you're doing is educating them about what chiropractic is, one, then they can go anywhere and get it. Not true. Two, what are you teaching? The problem is people go, I've been to a chiropractor before, and what you're talking about is totally different than what I thought chiropractic is. And wouldn't you know it, we have low utilization because people have no idea how to say, I'm going to you as my chiropractor. So the shift here, and we got lots of shift happens a lot around here. And the shift is that people aren't choosing chiropractic, they're choosing you. Your unique expression, whether your focus is on your technique, whether your focus is on your specialty, you're great with kids, pregnant moms, athletes, weekend warriors, seniors, whatever your practice, your application, what makes you unique and different than just chiropractic. That's what people are buying, and that's what you want to be highlighting, and that's what we're going to help you do. And the reason I highlight that is not just to stroke your ego and go, oh, people are going to go, me, that I'm the best. But the point and why that's so valuable, besides that, is that when people learn about you before they make it in, when they learn about you before they make it in, then if they make it in, they're saying, I want what you're talking about. And that's different than just going to a chiropractor because, hey, wouldn't you know it? You can get a first visit, including massage and a report of findings and your adjustment and a pillow for only $27. Buy it now, limited time only. There's only 17 certificates left. I don't know. Is that really what is most prideful for you to put out to your community? Do you want to be known as the cheapest deal in town, or do you want to be known as the most well-respected, most well-revered chiropractor they can find? And this is what I was saying a bit earlier. When it comes to professional services, most normal people are not looking for the cheapest, closest option. They're looking for the best they can find and afford. In fact, I don't know many people that go, hey, you'll never guess, I have the cheapest doctor you can find. It's awesome. I mean, it like costs next to nothing. It is such an awesome deal that, you'd be crazy not to get my cheap chiropractor. I know that sounds somewhat facetious, but that's what we are generally and collectively putting out there. And then we wonder why we don't get the respect and utilization, quite honestly, we really deserve. So much of this is about being proud of who you are. Much of this is about sharing not just what chiropractic is in general and in theory, but what it is in your practice and why they should choose you and not the cheaper option that's closer, but you, because you're the one that's going to give them the results. If people, and most people do like to brag about their doctor. Oh, I've got the best doctor. In fact, it costs a fortune. You can't even get in to see him. That's what people brag about. So make sure you're aligning your philosophy, your messaging, the way you want to be perceived in your community with the communication and messaging you're putting out there. I'll challenge most of you to say that if you're out there doing those types of, cheesy tactics, win an iPad, something along those lines, that people aren't coming because they go, I get it. You're awesome. You're going to change my life. I'm with you. In fact, how do I make sure that I can get as many people that I know, my friends, my family, my coworkers? You're awesome. I want to bring them in because they want to win an iPad too. I mean, is that really? So think about it. That's what we're all about. And again, I can't say it enough. There's really no risk. You've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's month to month. There's no long-term commitment. You can, try it, and, so to speak, and enjoy it. If for whatever reason there's something that doesn't resonate with you after you've said yes, take advantage of our open enrollment. You can always go, oops, that wasn't right. No harm, no foul. We're happy to give you your money back if you just find out it's not the right thing for you. But we think you're going to absolutely love it, which is why we're completely confident in making that offer. I hope you'll take us up on it, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about being able to set things automatically, right? It's about being able to outsource. We talk about automating and outsourcing are two kind of key buzzwords you hear a lot around the marketing world. And it's so relevant for your practice. As a chiropractor, it's very rare that you have a team of 75 individuals with middle management. It's just not the way that the chiropractic practices work. So you need to be able to find those partners. You need to be able to you can't do everything yourself. We've tried. I've been there. I've tried to do it all myself. I've struggled. I've failed. It's challenging. I don't want you to feel that way any longer. And the reason that you've known Jason and I is because, again, we are content producers. We get out there. There's probably not a single conference that we can go to, and we don't at least know a handful of people. And a lot of that has been built on email, on social, on the exact things that we're talking about. We send a combined personally probably 200,000 emails per month through our members. I'm going to estimate that we're well over 500,000 emails per month that we are consistently sending. So we have the stats and the data and the track record. As far as the social posts go, we're automating daily posts across hundreds of different pages. They are reaching hundreds of thousands of people. This all gets back to the same thing that Jason was talking about, which is, if you're a doc out there and you know that you do fantastic work and you just haven't seen your patient volume get to what you think is earned based upon the quality of the care that you provide, the challenge is marketing. And the solution is the Smart Chiropractor. Let's just say it very, very simply and easily. Because for so many docs out there that are focused on providing exceptional care in their practices, you either don't have the time or the skill set necessary to market in the way that you need to. And then a pop-up shop comes across the street, and next thing you know, you're sitting out there bummed out and looking sideways at the competition, thinking they're not competition, but your people are going there. And you have to be able to look inward at a certain point and say, have you told your story clearly, well enough, and consistently enough? Have you taught and invited, teach and invite consistently the individuals in your community to make it easy for them to understand the difference and to make it easy for them to say yes to you in your practice? And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that unless you are somebody who can devote 3 to 4 hours per day creating content, thinking about the content, producing the content, uploading the content, then this is going to be something that is going to be a lifesaver for you and your practice. We're going to save you time. We're going to increase efficiency. As Stephen Shoshani said earlier, I mean, we're saving him probably for $1,000 plus per month compared to what he was spending before. And that was a haberdashery, and it was a little bit of everything. We have systems and processes that are built into these campaigns. As you can see on the screen right now, more patients and more revenue. If those things sound interesting to you, then it is time to say hello to the Smart Chiropractor. And that big orange button you see on the screen, save 25%. I don't think we've emphasized this really at all here because we don't like to sell discounts either. But right now, because we are in an open enrollment, we're going to give you the opportunity to come on board with as little risk as possible. And no, that's not just for the first month. Sometimes we get that question, well, do I save 25% and then it jacks up? No, you get to stay in at that grandfathered price. We are a fan of loyalty. We love working with docs over the long haul. We love relationships instead of transactions. We love you to love the same thing. So again, we're practicing what we preach, where you're going to have locked in that price. Things that we add on, you will get. And that gives you an opportunity to really grow with us as well. We've had some docs that we've been with for a few years now and just seen their practices flourish. We've seen them utilize the pieces that we've added on and report back and say, man, once you added this helped me even more. And that's just what we love. Listen, almost every doc I know is stressed out, cannot produce content consistently, and wouldn't know how to produce it and make it have an impact even if they could get the consistency right. We're going to solve all of that for you, but in order to do so, you have to enable us to do so. And to do that, all you have to do is head over to smartchiropractor.com, come on board. We're going to give you, an opportunity to come on risk-free, dive in, let us help your practice. I talked about going around, and there's not a single place I don't think Jason and I can go in the chiropractic world and not know at least a handful of docs. I'm going to say, if you've been following, I won't put words in Jason's mouth, so I'll speak for myself here. If you've been following what I've done over the past decade or so, if you've gotten value out of the content that I've produced, I'm going to encourage you and call you out directly. Come on board with us at the Smart Chiropractor. This is something that we put in a tremendous amount of effort, of time, of thought, of expense into to enable you to get fantastic results. So if I've added value to you and your practice with any of the free videos or content that you've seen, I'm now going to challenge you. Come on board with us at the Smart Chiropractor. I want to help you and your practice, and we're ready to get to work. We're always working, and we're always ready to get to work, but we are definitely ready to get to work with this new open enrollment. We know things are coming out of this pandemic. It's a little gray. Are things going to slide back? Are we going to push forward? There's a lot of uncertainty out there, but I can tell you our biggest open enrollment that we've ever had to date, probably besides this one, knock on wood, was in the beginning throes of the pandemic. And guess what? Nearly every one of those doctors has stuck with us because we help not only save and stabilize their practice, but now as they're coming out of it, they have the tools and resources to get back faster, to grow faster, and ultimately to get to a better place than they were before. And there's a lot of docs out there that are not able to say that. And if you're one of them, head over to the Smart Chiropractor, join us during this open enrollment. Let us help you help your practice. Outsource. Let us do the work for you. Get it automated, get it outsourced, and then get the results. If you're just going to wait and push the barrel down the road, the same results are going to come in. We always say, results follow actions. So if you are willing to spend that 3 to 4 hours each and every day producing content, thinking about content, creating campaigns, email, social, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, video scripts, and then be able to have a great place of training and support for all of that, the optimization guides, the vaults, the reactivation protocols, good luck to you. But very shortly, you're going to run out of time or you're going to come up against a cap. We call it the Smart Chiropractor for about a bazillion different reasons, none of which actually have to do with us, but it's about our members. It's about people that want to grow, that want to use the latest research, that want to promote chiropractic, and that want to be smart about the growth of their practice, that don't want to race to the bottom, as Jason said, and rely on deep discounts and bait and switch. We think that is junk, but we do know there is a time and a place, which is right now and always, for connecting with people at their level, for communicating consistently, for teaching and inviting. Yes, we say invite instead of call to action, but that is one and the same. So sometimes we get that question about, what about new patients? Yes, more patients, more revenue. It's all built into what we do at the Smart Chiropractor, and we'd love to help you ultimately your practice to where you want to take it. And for who you are, that might be different for different docs, which is why we have everything from web exercises to the email. If you want to use it all, awesome. If there are pieces of this puzzle, as Steven said earlier, gosh, just the email alone is a ROI machine for me, then I have all the support on this other. So it is up to you how you want to utilize it, but we're going to be here to support you each and every step of that way.
Jeff, you brought up a really great point I want to make sure people are hearing, and that is that there really tends to be an inverse relationship between those doctors that are really focused on their technique, on providing great care, on really being great clinicians, right? That tend to also, in many cases, not have the largest practices. And that doesn't make any logical sense. If we were in a logical world, and I think if there's anything we can agree on these days, we are far from a logical world. But if there was anything to say, you would logically think that the better clinician you are, the bigger practice you would have, because the better results you would have would lead to more people coming to you. And most great chiropractors I know absolutely know that being a great clinician does not equate to having a big, let alone busy, referral-based practice. That's just one of those challenges, but it's a reality. And so if you think about the largest practice in your town and you're not it, the question is, why are they it and you're not? And like it or not, it probably has to do with, as you said earlier, marketing. And I'll say differently, just to make sure it's clear for people, because usually we say the word marketing and people think immediately advertising. Most of the largest practices don't just have the best ad campaigns out there, but they typically do have the best communication systems, right? So it's follow-up systems. It's putting the care into healthcare. It's not just putting out information cold to go, well, there's the detail, there's the data, there's the research. Of course, any logical thinking scientist would come to the conclusion I've come to. It doesn't work that way. So there's so much more to it. We think relationships are first. In other words, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And this is your way to express how much you care. This is not just a strictly formulaic, numerical, data-based, well, how many did we get, right? We put this message out, how many did we get? As marketing expert Seth Godin says, if all you're concerned about is data and the numbers, you might as well just post about the Kardashians, because that will probably get you the most numbers and likes, follows, and so on, right? That's just the way the world is right now. What you're looking to figure out is that perfect slice, that perfect combination of being personality driven, being research based, showing a high level of design and aesthetic, because believe it or not, people judge books by their cover, and have the right formula that then can be personalized for you and your practice. You, your practice, maybe your associates or the other types of professionals in your practice. This can work for you as a team. So it's not just about you and a personality-driven practice. A lot of doctors are using this program because they want to step out and stop being the charismatic personality that drives everything, right? That's called a job, not a business. So lots of docs who are charismatic and great use this so they can actually step away from being the personality-driven practice. Those that are clinically focused and don't, pride themselves on having the charisma it takes, so to speak, this is a great way to automate to us and really put your message literally in their face on Facebook and everywhere else they're looking, right? There's no question we've got a pandemic of technology in our face. We're all addicted to screens, different levels of addiction, but we are. That's where we get our information. So if that's where we get our information, I'm thinking maybe that's where you should be putting your information, inspiration, connection, your invitations to take a next step with you. And that's as we sort of, wrap up, unless we have any other questions, we sort of, wind things down. It's one of the things that's different. The idea is that you're building relationships. You're being of service to people. Hey, Jerome, thanks for saying hello. So you're being of service to people. You're building relationships. You're giving first so that people can go, I like this doc. This resonates with me. That makes sense to me. I'm impressed. So that then when they are ready to say, yes, you know what? I just had my birthday. It's time for me to, really take care of myself. Or, it's time for me to do something for myself. Now's the time. You never know the day somebody's going to go, today's the day I'm going to make the choice. And I just want to point out one last thing. Jeff, cut me off as we're going on. So right now, think about this for a moment and the limitations that most current marketing programs have. If your focus is on what I'll call marketing, which most people think of as advertising, if that's your focus, then what you're doing is you are limiting your messaging to literally approximately 1% of the potential you have to connect with people. Here's what I mean by that. If you do the math and you look at Google and you do the research to find out how many people on any given day are searching for a chiropractor online, it is roughly 1% or less of our just United States population, okay? Roughly 1% of less are people who are looking, searching chiropractor, my town, okay? That's been the way most people think that I gotta grow my practice. I gotta be on the first page of Google. I gotta put ads out. So when they're searching, they'll find me. And how do they choose you? Because you're the cheapest. That's the game most of you are playing right now. Okay, you think the ends justify the means. To me, to us, it's kind of an addiction of another kind, right? You're only looking at working with less than 1% or so of the population, which is crazy because 100% of the population is eligible for your care. And let's just say 80%, if you use, what is it, Pareto's rule, right? 80-20 rule, 80% have the potential. We'll say 20% will never see you for any reason, for any way whatsoever, right? 80% are open-minded enough to go, health? Better? Tell me more. If all you're doing is putting out a message to only those people actively searching because they're in pain today, ready to make a decision now, you are missing a massive opportunity to plant seeds. That's why we refer to this as a farmer's mindset versus a hunter's mindset. A hunter's mindset is, I'm hungry. Where's the food? Let me go find it, kill it, and eat it. And you do that, and you go, that was awesome, thank you. You take a nap after, you eat, and guess what? You got to do it again. However, it's actually harder as time goes on because the animals adapt. They learn your hunting techniques. And typically, what worked the first time doesn't seem to work as well over time because the market changes. You may have done really well with an ad or two over some times, but you find there's sort of a diminishing return over time. Okay? The market adapts. That's the hunter's consciousness, right? No hunty, no foodie. That's what it is, right? So you go out, you get it. That's the results you're looking for. Now, I appreciate the immediate gratification of it, but what the point I'm trying to make is that there's no system to it. There's no automation to it. Now let's talk about a farmer's mindset. A farmer's mindset goes, you know what? Here's what I know. I know that if I have the right environment, I know that if I plant seeds consistently, I know how seeds and nature works, just like you know how knowledge and human behavior works, right? You're planting seeds of knowledge so that you can affect human behavior. You're planting seeds in the soil and you're nurturing it and you're being patient. No person in their right mind plants a seed and goes, can we eat yet? Okay. There's a process to it, that there is no process that does not require time, principle number 6. That is part of how this works. This is organic growth. It's sustainable supply of new people, so that when you put a message out, yeah, in the beginning, like, you get 3, 4, 5 people, maybe that's fine. In time, you build momentum. Maybe it's 20, then it becomes 50, then it becomes 100. Nobody, and I mean nobody, starts off hitting a grand slam from the start. You start small, you build momentum. You want to wait 6 months, wait 12 months, you'll be that much farther behind the game. If you want to really start seeing a sustainable, steady supply of people that come in knowledgeable of who you are, what you do, already, I'll say interested, because they've gotten social endorsement from people they know, people they don't know. They see the activity and the engagement. You've risen to a higher level. You're sharing more feedback. You got other professionals going, see that chiropractor. They're awesome. I'm their favorite personal trainer. You put this all together and you've got the easiest, simplest, most effective system we know of on the planet to get not just the chiropractic message, but your chiropractic message, not just to everyone, but to your community, not just the 1%, but to the, let's call it 80% of people that have the potential to go, I got a spine, I'm ready to invest in my health. If there's anything, I know there's so many of you that go, oh, I hate the term the new normal. I don't. And I'll tell you why I don't. The new normal is what normal should have always been. And the new normal is, oh boy, I better take care of my health. Okay? We are willing to close down businesses, close down our economy. We're willing to wear these things on our face anytime we're in public. We're willing, and I mean we culturally are willing to make all these sacrifices for one reason, because it's going to protect our health. And to me, that's the new normal. And I say we've got to take advantage of that opportunity by saying, if your health is so important to you that you'll stay home for months at a time, that you will be much more aware, you'll stay 6 feet or more away from those people you have to be in, let alone those that you don't have to be in front of, right? If you're willing to make those sacrifices and those choices because your health is so important to you, boy, do I have a message for you. Okay, here's how you can not just reduce your risk of what everybody's freaked out about, but here's how you can, in fact, implement a few sure things to make sure that you are as strong as you can be, that you are what we think of as a bad host. Okay, there are different ways for you to be able to express your unique way of expressing who you are, what you do, how you see health, how you see well-being. No, unfortunately, the chiropractic profession has very little consensus as to what this story should be and what it should sound like. And I don't think anybody's really putting the message that applies to all of us out there. I'm working on it, but it hasn't happened yet, right? This is the closest thing we've got. Let us do that seeding for you. Let us plant those seeds for you. You want to get out there, you want to do more, you want to, see the harvest, you want to plant even more stuff, that's all on you. But we are your tractor, so to speak. We're going to be out there planting those seeds every day. You can sleep late, okay? You can take weekends off. All right, that's what we are. We're your factory, planting seeds every day, all day, so that people can be nurtured into your orientation of what health is, what health isn't, why your perspective is so important, so valuable, so that you can attract those people that actually align with you. Nobody's listening or wanting to learn something that's different than what they agree with. If there's anything we know about our world today, as divisive as it is, there are few people that believe something that go, hey, do me a favor and teach me how wrong I am about my beliefs so I can adopt your beliefs. Please show me if there's anywhere that that's going on these days. We have become so polarized, it's ridiculous. You got to do what politicians have learned to do, whichever side of the aisle you are on, and play to your base and hope that your base will spill over into some of those undecideds. That's how this works. There are plenty of people in your community that believe that the less drugs I take, the better, that believe if there's a way to avoid surgery, I'd like to, that believe that I am worth investing in my health. It makes sense to watch what I eat. It makes sense to exercise regularly. It makes sense to get rest and sleep. It makes sense to have an organic doctor to help me improve my health over time, as opposed to waiting until I'm broken down and reacting to it for a quick fix that often includes toxic drugs, dangerous surgeries. It makes sense to lots of people. But if all you're doing is saying, hi, I'm a chiropractor, I do chiropractic care, come to my chiropractic office for a chiropractic adjustment, we'll bill your chiropractic procedures to your insurance company, I will guarantee you no one has a clue what you're really talking about. They may, and what they think you're talking about is, you'll crack my neck, make me feel better, I don't have to pay for it, and you'll get me out of there as soon as I can. And if that's the kind of practice you have, I'll say I respect that. If that's your conscious choice, but that's the type of practice you believe is best for people, no problem. My problem is when chiropractors believe one thing but behave differently that's not aligned with their beliefs. So if you are the kind of lifestyle-oriented chiropractor that believes that this is a philosophy first, that believes that there's an understanding as that's different about the way we think and the way we behave to create and generate greater health over time, if that's important to you, then the idea is not to just get anyone in so that at that point you can then convert their belief system into believing something else. Doesn't work that way. It did work. If you want to listen to those docs that were practicing in the Mercedes 80s and through the 90s, when people came in and had financial aid, as in really good health insurance, so that anybody with pain could get started, and that's when you taught them what chiropractic really is, that was a different time, and those techniques worked in those times. Differently than, oh, I'm sorry to inform you, you've got a $4,000 deductible and a $40 per visit copay. Let's get started. And by the way, you're going to need, 3 times a week for X amount of weeks, and most of that will come out of your pocket. We're in different times. Those techniques, those methods, those marketing approaches back then do not work the same way now. And many of you are stuck trying to do the same thing over and over, banging your head against the wall, hoping for a different result because you don't know any better. This is knowing better. We're here to help you. We'll do almost all of it for you, or we'll do some of it for you so that you can really stand on our shoulders metaphorically and really express yourself. Be the chiropractor you've always been proud to want to be and to express to the public. We'll help you get there. What do you think, Jeff?
But
Ready to wrap it up?
but I want to practice in the Mercedes 80s. Is it too late for me?
That's our time machine program, and we'll have to,
I think the other aspect is there's so many docs out there as we come towards a close that just aren't really doing much, right? Maybe you've dabbled in some Google advertising, maybe you've dabbled in some Facebook advertising, maybe you go to a BNI meeting and you go to your local breakfast, like a Rotary Club once a week, but you really just don't have any systems or processes. You've kind of explored a couple different things. Maybe you haven't been happy with the results on some of it, and I don't blame you one bit. There's a lot of docs out there that if I asked and we took a poll and you said raise your hand if you feel like you've done Facebook or Google advertising and haven't got exactly what you wanted out of it, we'd have, if I had a nickel for every chiropractor, we'd be doing just fine, right? There's a lot of docs who have been through that cycle. And a lot of it's coming back around to, well, what do I need to do? Well, I need to create content. I need to be super consistent with it. It needs to look good. I need to tell my story with the whole explosion of story brand, etc. And all of that, to a certain extent, just built into what our culture is at the Smart Chiropractor. So I go back to the same old story. If you want to put your marketing on autopilot, if you want automatic marketing, if you want to tap some buttons and get results, not by sleight of hand, not because you got over on them, not because you pounded them down by spending a gazillion dollars and then you got to really work for it on the back end, none of that whatsoever, but ultimately by doing the right thing, which is consistently communicating, by teaching and inviting, and by really connecting with people where they're at. So when we look through the Smart Chiropractor and we create content, it's about creating content about where they are at. Are you highlighting things benefit driven? Are you having consistent calls to action? There's so many docs out there as well that dabble in content, but it doesn't do anything for them because they don't do the invite portion of teach and invite. They teach, and then they don't invite. And on the flip side, there's a small percentage of chiropractors that all they do is invite or right hook, and they do nothing else. And it's like, oh my god! And so you look at what they do, and you have a distaste for it, and it turns you off from even going that direction. Don't be that way. The pendulum is comfortable in the middle with gravity, right? It doesn't need to be all one way or all the other. You can push it one way a little bit. You can let it go back the other way a little bit. That cadence is natural, but it doesn't just hang up to one side, right? The whole thing is that you get to work with it a little bit. And in an ideal natural state of gravity, it's going to have both things going on, teaching and inviting. How do you do that? You do that by consistently producing content. And I'm just going to, if you're watching this, unless you are one of probably 5 chiropractors on planet Earth, you are not consistently producing content. Like there are not that many docs who are consistently producing content. Therefore, you are under leveraging your ability to have results. You are not taking home as much money as you could. You have more stress than you need, and you are not helping as many people as you could in your community. Those are things that you can change, but results follow actions. You need to take an action step. You need to decide that you're going to quadruple down on content. You're going to break out a couple hours each and every day that you're going to need in order to get that content built and to get it implemented, or you're going to make a smart decision and come on board with us during this open enrollment with the Smart Chiropractor. You're going to let us do all the work for you. We've been through it. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. And we add on the tools that are needed at any given time. We have the foundation for you. We have all the bells and whistles. You got the email. You have the social component to it. You have the in-office component, streaming video. You got it. Patient handouts. You got it. Emails, reactivation, success blast, patient onboarding, all automated, all pre-built, all customized for you. You got it. Do you want to build your own email campaigns? You can. We have not even dove into, I'll save this so we don't go, I'm not trying to compete with There Will Be Blood here for a 4-hour show, but I love that movie. But we haven't even dove into the fact, and this is, I guess, a huge announcement if anybody's watching this that is a member of the Smart Chiropractor, there's lead generation built in, where we have the availability for you to put forms and active things on your website and drive individuals into your subscriber list. So you can build custom subscriber lists, you can build custom campaigns. We have everything built out for you, but let's say you're into neuropathy or something, like peripheral neuropathy. I know some docs are super into that or super into spinal decompression. We got you. Our system can enable you to get best results regardless of where you sit in terms of technique. We are technique agnostic, but what we do know are the techniques of marketing. And the techniques of marketing don't care whether you are atlas orthogonal, diversified, spinal decompression, or flexion distraction, or anything in between. The techniques of marketing remain the same. And you need to enable yourself to say yes. You need to enable yourself to say, I want to reduce my stress. I want to get better results. I don't want to be on this yo-yo anymore. And I want to do it in a way that on Friday afternoon, I can feel happy. And I don't have to feel like, gosh, like, I had a couple tough conversations. You're not counting those wins and washing yourself off because you don't feel so great about the way you got people into your practice. This is about doing it in a way that's research based, that you can be comfortable with. And if you've been following Jason or I, again, we've been doing this for years and years and years, combined decades of content production. So hopefully you come to understand the level of quality we expect. I hope you've seen some of the Smart Chiropractor material. We have Dr. Bates out in Arizona, Dr. Mills, just a couple off the top of my head, Dr. Newbaum. We didn't even get to his case study that we were going to look at tonight. We have just docs out there. We're happy to share those pages if you're watching here and you want us to drop a couple of those links and sort of see what it looks like in action. We're absolutely happy to do that. We have hundreds of docs spread around the world utilizing our service day in and day out. And those docs are generating ultimately, we're adding in millions of dollars per year into chiropractic based upon what we've done with this system. That's what I'm most proud of, because I won't go off on too much of a tangent here, but I look at this, if we're just going to talk medically here, almost everybody's going to have instances of back pain. We can do so much more than that as chiropractors, but there's not a single person in your community that does not have a red flag, which is less than 1%, that has a spinal or neuromuscular condition that shouldn't be referred into your practice or come into your practice because you've been putting out great content and they know, trust, and like you already. And here's the catch 22 about this, which I think is super, super important. I try not to drive this home too much because I don't want to bring a sour sport here. But individuals that have these radicular symptoms, I saw it practicing on the other side. People would not go to a chiropractor. They didn't know anybody, didn't have a recommendation. They didn't see what was going on. They went in, they got medication, the medication didn't work, they had a structural issue, of course it didn't work, they get an MRI, voila, there's a disc pressing on a nerve, radiculopathy, we see it all day, every day, take care of it all day, every day. But if that wasn't headed at the pass, they are on the fast track for an injection that's not going to work, and potentially a surgery, a steroid injection that may not work because it's just steroid masking an area, there's no healing factors there, and or a fast track to a decompression or a surgery down the road. I hate to break it to docs out there. I don't care who you are, where you're practicing. That's happening each and every day in your community. And I know that because our utilization as chiropractors is not at 80% plus. Therefore, we are missing a lot of people. When we have utilization 10 to 15%, we have that many people and we see surgeries and things going like this. That tells me we're not doing a good enough job communicating our message. I can say confidently that with the hundreds of docs that we're working with the Smart Chiropractor, we're doing exactly that. But I also know there's about 50,000 practicing chiropractors out there, and you're one of them watching right now. Question is, are you going to take the steps to change that in your community? And with that, here's the side effects of making a decision to change that. Less stress, more revenue, more impact. Those are pretty good side effects as far as I'm concerned, and we're going to take all the risk off of this as well. Head on over during this open enrollment. We just broke 2 hours. We're going marathon session here. Head on over to smartchiropractor.com. If you have any questions whatsoever, personally DM me. I think everybody that's watching this is going to know where to find Jason or I. Shoot us a direct message. Let us know if you have a hesitation, if you have a concern, if you have a specific question. If you want one of our success managers to walk through the entire system on a discovery call and or a demo, they are willing to do that for you. We want to showcase to you. This is, to a certain extent, yes, this is about helping you in your practice, but this is about helping people. And the way that we get to people is by working with great docs just like you. So let us help you. I think you're going to love the side effects, and I look forward to it. I mean, we're jazzed. We are in build mode. We're coming off this open enrollment. We have a whole bunch of stuff in the queue that I'm super excited about. We just built out that vault, which are those evergreen materials that are just going to help you outside of the monthly campaigns, the weekly topics, and the daily posts. There's a lot there. There's nothing like it in the chiropractic space. I can tell you that absolutely flat out. And we want to work with you. So if you're a doc out there looking to make a bigger impact in your community, you'd like to get some more revenue coming in, you'd like to stabilize the practice, and you are sick of the yo-yo and you're sick of marketing, come on board with the Smart Chiropractor. We'll be happy to help you out. Jason, I'll hand it over to you to close the show here.
All right, all right. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed some, if not all of this. I guess if you're thinking about it, no, you don't have to spend 2 hours doing this. We're not going to teach you to follow what we just did, although it's not a terrible idea. We'll teach you, if you wanted to, how to really share your passion with your community in a format that can get lots of people in your practice at one time. Bottom line is, it is a toolkit to help you build your dream. It's really that simple. If you want to, have more people come in at a higher fee and work less, we can help you do that. If you want more people coming in at a lower fee, we can help you do that. If you want to work more because, you need to fill up your capacity, we can help you do that. It is a toolkit to help you build your dream practice. So know your dream. If you don't know your dream, we'll even help you figure that out. That's what we're here to do. So bottom line is, what you're getting is us, Jeff, myself, our team who, has been working with us for years. We got a finely tuned machine. We understand how this works. We got the right people in the right positions on the team to really thrive and excel. We want to work for you and with you. So I don't know what else we can really say. If you've got questions, we're here to help. We intentionally, and we'll teach you to do this, the one thing you do want to do is really think of urgency and scarcity. And so, the time is now. We do it on purpose. All of us would wait and, kick the can and decide another time because, hey, why not? That's what we do. But, excuse me, the concept of urgency and scarcity, buy today or it'll be more expensive next week. That's the reality you're dealing with. And if you want to wait for weeks and months and so on, it'll be even more expensive as time goes on. Choice is yours. We actually sort of believe it's inevitable. It's just a matter of time before you come to the conclusion either that what you're doing just costs too much, takes too much time, and doesn't get you the results you're looking for. We know that. You can kind of think of that like the person who goes, well, I don't know about your chiropractic thing. I'm going to go ask my neurologist and see what they say. And Jeff just said it. You know the playbook. You know what's going to happen. Now, if they want to go for the drugs and surgery, they weren't right for you probably altogether. But there are plenty of people that if they listen and pay attention, you can tell them what's going to happen. You go, listen, if you want drugs and you love surgery, you should go do that. But if you change your mind and realize that you'd rather be more conservative, less toxic, less expensive, I'm your guy, good luck to you, then that's how we feel. We want to be of service to you. But just like your patients need you more than you need them, and I don't mean that in any kind of arrogant way, it's just we know we can help you. Just like you can help your community. I hope you know that. I hope most of you know. If you don't know that, you should talk to us about it so you know. But listen, we're passionate about what we do. We love helping chiropractors help more people. We've been doing it for a very long time now, doing it as chiropractors, working with massive organizations, companies. Jeff's experience, we currently have, $10 million practices we work with, and all along the spectrum. So we know what we're doing. The question is, do you want help? And what would hold you back from taking that next step? If there is something we can address, we're happy to address it. If not, we wish you the best. We thank you for watching. If you are, whether it's live or the replay, we know this will go out via email to quite a few people. We know the system. You can learn by what we do as much as by what we say. But listen, 2020 is a nuts year. If we just take a pause for a moment, breathe, and just kind of look at what's going on right now, I don't know what other options you really have to thrive and succeed. I really don't. So one of the ways we've described this in the past, and I'm going to close by, sort of saying it this way as well. The world's nuts right now. I would like for you to think of us as your lifeboat, and we're driving by you, and you and thousands of people, let alone chiropractors, are figuring out, what do I do next? What's going to happen? Are we going to open? Are we going to close? People have jobs and they're going to be able to, afford to come see me? Like, there's so much uncertainty. Get in the boat with us and let us bring you to safety. Come in, let us shelter you, feed you, and drive you, guide you to where you deserve to be, a safe place for you to be able to make a difference in people's lives and really be the chiropractor you've always dreamed of being. Maybe you were that once before. Things got a little bit screwed up as we have to adapt to our environment. We all are, but we know what we're doing and we know we can help you. The only question really is, do you want help? Are you willing to make an investment? Are you willing to take a next step? Are you willing to say, I'm worth it, my team is worth it, my community is worth it, and I'm willing to basically take this hardly any risk choice and work with these two crazies who are willing to pour their hearts out and share with you what they do because they love doing it. That's who we are. That's what we do. If you got a better offer, I'd love to hear it. I honestly would. I really would be curious to hear what other better options there are that make more sense for you to make that choice. But until that time, we hope you've in some way convinced you that both what we do, more importantly, who we are, is what's going to help you get where you ultimately want to go. That's our commitment to you. We hope you'll take advantage of our opportunity. We are closing open enrollment tonight, so please make the no-risk decision of saying yes, check it out, get on board. If you find out in 30 days or less that you want to cancel, just let us know. No harm, no foul. At least you gave it a try. On behalf of Dr. Jeff Langmaid, I'm Dr. Jason Deitch, and on behalf of our entire team that is looking forward to working with you as well, grab yourself an accountability partner, click buy now, get involved. We look forward to starting to train with you next week so that as we bring everybody on board, you can be part of our new freshman class of people that we know and are excited to hear about your amazing results. I look forward to featuring you on our next open enrollment as our superstar who went from zero to hero in no time, basically sharing how we've been able to help you get where you ultimately want to go. Thanks for watching, everyone. We appreciate it. Go grab yourself some dinner if you're somewhere, wherever it is. I'm going to head on out for a hike and a walk, get some movement and motion. Jeff, great to be with you. Thank you so much. Thanks, team, for being there and doing all that you do. We look forward to being of service to all of you. Thanks for watching, everyone.